Hey there everybody, Mazrock here, and today I want to talk about raiding versus Mythic plus gearing, what it's been like in Season 4, and after a couple of months of, raiding and doing Mythic plus a bunch, talk about how I feel the differences have been. How has it panned out? How has this new experimental season felt to a more average player? Because I am a more average player, right? We do early Mythic bosses, we get, we get our AOTCs, get our heroics done. I'm in the 20 ranges of Mythic Plus, which seems to be fairly common nowadays. So, let's get into it in just a minute. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. If you're looking for any weak auras or anything like that, LVI profiles, you can get that down in my Twitch link, which is filled with absolutely amazing people. I'm flabbergasted by all the support everyone's given me. Thank you so much. There's also a Twitch link down below if you wish to watch me stream, and a Patreon link if you wish to support me directly. So, let's break down what gearing's been like in Raid, what gearing's been like in Mythic Plus, and then compare them both to kind of previous seasons and how I feel things are going, and maybe suggest some changes along the way. So, with raiding, of course, kill boss, hope loot. It's sad when no loot drop. But, we now have a quest that when you kill X many individual bosses, you get a dinar, allowing you to exchange that for a normal piece of loot, which you can upgrade using tokens from boss kills from Heroic or Mythic. 20 boss kills gives you a token or an upgradable piece that you can put on anything and upgrade it to that level quality, whether it be Heroic or Mythic or whatever have you not. And this has actually been a really nice protection system against the raid, right? Because having one chance a week at Gavel and never seeing it drop sucked in Season 3. Or Old Warrior Soul in Season 2, whatever it is. Like, my Warrior never once seen an Old Warrior Soul, and I was killing, Sylvanas every single week and no luck whatsoever. So this has been a nice way to add deterministic loot and bad luck protection to get some gear that you want. The problem is when you add this, we also have a rotating raid schedule, right? We have a new raid every week for 3 weeks and then it starts over. So you really only have one actual chance a week to get a drop. That's it. You have one chance every 3 weeks to get a drop instead of one chance a week. So this has been bad luck protection where it's been most dearly needed for sure, and that has been nice. The problem is raiding continues to be what it is in Shadowlands, and it's a shit show. Let's face it. Honestly, pug raiding to me has become the most unfun thing ever, and I'm not here for it. I'm not having fun with pug raiding. Like, I'm literally logging in on our raid nights for guild, and that's it. Like, I don't want to do anything more. I had to do a couple other things, so I did LFR for specific dinars or whatever, or, chance drops. Like, my DK got lucky with an LFR Jailer Gavel drop, which I upgraded to Heroic using tokens. Easy peasy, right? Not a problem there. I got an LFR Old Warrior Soul, which I'm reluctant to actually go pug Heroic, because that means I have to go pug Heroic to get the pieces that the upgrade tokens that I need to get that up to Heroic. And I'm kind of like, fuck it. It's kind of good enough for what I'm doing right now. Like, it will help, of course, to have a higher level one in the 2022s that I'm doing, but it's also serving its purpose and working okay. So it's kind of, there's some good and there's some bad with the raiding scenario currently in World of Warcraft, and I like the deterministic loot. I just wish that it wasn't 3 raids worth of loot, because that has also mean that so many of our best items come from raid, right? Especially for a tank, you got Gavel for blood DKs, and bears now, I guess, is like an actual thing that's kind of weird. Like, okay, bear Gavel, go! If you want the highest level shields, easiest to get it from raid. If you want, trinkets, or reactive defense matrix, Old Warrior Soul, Shard of Anhilda's Aegis, there's cheat death trinkets. All of these things all come from raid, so you have to be raiding to get the best gear that you also need for Mythic Plus. Now let's shift over to Mythic Plus. What has Mythic Plus gearing been like? Well, we have 8 dungeons, 6 old ones brought up with the loot there. I mean, the loot table's been modified because, like, for example, the Warlords of Draenor dungeons doesn't have any rings, because rings back then had main stat on them, and you can't have that because they would immediately default to Abyss. There's the rings that you can get from the Mechagon dungeons, which, in all honesty, I kind of stopped farming or caring. I've got good rings on my Blood DK and my Warrior to the point where, like, I don't need them. They would be nice, but I mean, I've got really good rings and I got my stats where I want them, so the trinket situation in current Mythic Plus is pretty much fucking terrible. Like, some tanks could use a Codex of the first technique. Some tanks can use an Enforcer Stun Grenade, which I will admit has been very useful on my Warrior. Not so much on Blood DK. It feels clunky on Blood DK, but like, you look through the Mythic Plus loot, and there's nothing to be desired. Especially when you look at the list of current raid loot that's attainable, Mythic Plus loot seems terrible. It's not fun, right? So pretty much right now I'm just doing Mythic Plus because I love doing Mythic Plus, plain and simple, and I always will. But the loot factor of Mythic Plus kind of sucks. What's been nice, though, is the Valor is uncapped. So if you get a new piece, you get a new tertiary, because people get tertiaries apparently. I have no idea what they are. Fucking haven't seen any of those. People get tertiaries, and you can immediately upgrade them with Valor, and immediately catalyze them for the tier pieces and stuff that you need, which makes gearing an alt that way a lot better. So the uncapped Valor is really, really nice, but what it kind of also does is it affects your vault, right? Because now I'm at the point with my Warrior, like, unless it has a tertiary and the right stats that I want, or catalyzable, I really don't care about Mythic Plus loot anymore, because there's nothing I really want. Seasons 1, 2, and 3 had a wide variety of loot across the entire Mythic Plus table that you could want and use and refarm and things like that. And there's something to be said on both sides of that, right? It's not great to have to farm out a blood scale every season. It's not great to have to farm out a codex every season, or whatever your best trinkets are. But there was actual, there was good DPS options in specific dungeons, and in different dungeons there was good things that you could work here, and you could really move around and be like, okay, you want to farm Mythic Plus for those specific pieces of loot, where now it's kind of... Mythic Plus really felt like the quality of the loot table felt like it got left behind this season. The dungeons that were added in don't have a lot of interesting pieces. There's some, but not really. The Mechagon Shield is admittedly a pretty big fucking letdown for at least Prot Warrior, I can tell you. Prot Paladin might be better because of the high mastery, and you really like mastery, because they still has the mastery. But it kind of still feels like a letdown. I haven't tested it on Prot Paladin, so I don't know. The Fusion Hacker is a nice little additive, but unfortunately once you start getting the higher key levels, the stats on weapons start meaning more than the damage proc, which is kind of okay. It's fun in 15s, but in 22s starts getting to be a little weak. So, right now, if you were to ask me, as a player, as a raider, and as a Mythic Pluser, if you take the same comparable gear, right? If you were able, as either or, if you were able to get all of the same overall power level, I understand Raid is going to always have probably the better gear. I get that. But if you could get about the overall power level between Raid and Mythic Plus, but you could only ever do one, right? You can only ever Raid, or you could only ever do Mythic Plus, but if both options gave you the same overall power level that you could work with and still do, like, I don't need to be in bleeding edge gear to do Mythic Plus for the level that I'm doing it. Yes, it's nice, but for the 20 to 25 range that I'm doing, I don't need all Mythic stuff. I don't need all the best Mythic stuff and all the best this and that. I can work my gear around, right? But you could only ever do one. 10 out of 10 times, I am fucking picking Mythic Plus. Plain and simple. It's not even a competition in my brain. I'm picking Mythic Plus every goddamn time. And I know that answer is going to differ for everybody. Some people are like, only play this game to raid. Some people only play this game to Mythic Plus. Some people only, whatever, PvP, whatever have you not. If collect mounts, whatever you do, you do. But if we're comparing the two main forms of higher end PvE content, it's Raid and Mythic Plus. And Mythic Plus really felt like it got left behind this season. The new dungeons are actually pretty fun. Grim Rail is not the total shit show. I mean, it was at the start, but it's not the complete shit show that people thought it would be. It's actually a pretty fun key. Iron Docks is fun. Lower, after a severe round of multiple nerfs, is actually a fun dungeon when people know what they're doing. I've been in Lower Karazhan's anywhere from 15 to 20 in the last 2 weeks, and I've had a lot of fun in that dungeon. I actually have, because when people know what they're doing. When people don't know what they're doing, it starts being not fun in a hurry. Upper's pretty fun. The Mechagon dungeons are fun. Gambit and Streets are always fun keys to get as well. Like, the actual running of dungeons feels great. It just feels like the Mythic Plus loot table, from a quality perspective, really got left behind where rating got propped up. So for people who really primarily enjoy Mythic Plus and play the game for Mythic Plus content, right? Because for me, if they removed Mythic Plus and they only left Raid, I would probably find a different game. I would not play WoW only to Raid. Like, there's no way I would do it. I just don't see that. I don't know. It's weird. It's an actual deep thought that I'd have to have, because I actually do love WoW and a lot of its content. But I can't imagine myself raiding 7 nights a week. I can imagine myself playing Mythic Plus 7 nights a week, because I do. I play Mythic Plus every day. But I can't see myself raiding 7 nights a week to fill my PvE content dopamine rush of kills and get the job done. So, going forward in Dragonflight, they really need to make sure that the Mythic Plus community can still feel rewarded with great gear. Maybe even more deterministic gear as well. You could put in some sort of dinar system as well for Mythic Plus. Hey, if you get fucking 30 or 40 or 50, it doesn't matter how many. If you get, X amount of plus 20 Mythic Plus kills, you get a free choice of loot. You time all 20 dungeons in a row at plus 20. Not necessarily in a row, but you time 20 dungeons. 20 dungeons at a plus 20 level, you get one free choice of loot. Make it the base Mythic 0 version, right? Maybe add a tertiary option to it or something, but make the Mythic Plus community feel like they're actually wanted to play Mythic Plus. And if you stop and look at what WoW offers, what Blizzard offers for esport entertainment, the biggest stuff is actually the only stuff, aside from Zymox's Cash raid run, is all Mythic Plus oriented outside of PvP, right? We're not going to talk PvE for PvE. There's no race to world first Blizzard thing. That is, Liquid, Echo, BDG, the Method, whatever. The biggest guilds, they put that on. Blizzard has nothing to do with it. It's literally all Mythic Plus focused. The Great Push, MDI, those are two of the biggest names in Blizzard esports for World of Warcraft. Again, we're just taking PvP out of the picture because we're talking PvE here. Why is there not more love towards Mythic Plus loot? There needs to be some sort of way to gain that same power level overall. And I'm not saying it has to be better or even as good, but for some reason, if you can, if you only heroic raid or you only do Mythic Plus, you should be, Mythic raid and high-end Mythic Plus, let's say 25s or 22s or whatever the key equivalent of a Mythic raid encounter is. I know that's going to change depending on the exact raid encounter itself. Like, you can't really compare pre-nerf Halandris to plus 20 now. That's not really how it works. But there should be some balancing act between the two, and Mythic Plusers should really enjoy some way of earning a deterministic loot as well. Maybe you can spend Valor to upgrade gear, but you could also spend a lot of Valor to buy a piece of gear that you want, right? You could save up 5,000 Valor or something fucking stupid. Make it a high number, but make it something still pretty easily attainable to buy exactly that one piece that you want. Because then you're making a choice and you're like, oh, I could upgrade this, but I could buy my blood scale. Oh, and maybe for 6,000 Valor, I could buy that blood scale with Leech. Now you're thinking, and now you're working to attain something, and that feels good, right? Because you want to work to attain something, right? Just having everything drop week 1 is super fun, but so many times in Mythic Plus or in just WoW, I see people get bissed out, like fully, like they've got all their best shit and they can't get any more loot to make themselves better, and then they immediately stop playing the character. You'd be surprised how often that happens, because the gearing process is really, really fun, and I feel like the gearing process for Mythic Plus got the short end of the stick this expansion. But I gotta say, I give them props to the raid, how they did the raids, right? I honestly think without the dinar system and out the upgrade tokens, the Fated raid rotation would be an absolute shit show for trying to get anything. It would be terrible. Like, it would feel like garbage. Only having one chance at a gavel every 3 weeks, or one chance at an old warrior soul, or a shard on Hilda's Aegis every 3 weeks. That would feel like shit. But, like I said, this is an opinion piece. This is what I think. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Remember, let's stay constructive. This isn't a bash Blizzard, but what can be done? What do you guys think? Am I right or wrong? Let me know. I would love to hear you guys. And as we leave, I would like to thank my patrons for all of your support and all of your help. Thank you very much. Cannot do it without you. Have yourselves a good one, guys, and enjoy. You guys excited for Dragonflight as much as I am? Let's go.